yeah, the last session there, you guys kind of all ended up back at the Obsidian Gate there in Sanctuary, um, and ended up walking over to go see Thomas, kind of give him a recap of what was going on. He kind of asked the group to go back out since he hadn't quite dealt with the issue you were sent out for, and the three who were with me there all did so.
I thought we were supposed to kill these elemental things. Right?
Yeah, but they didn't find the. You guys didn't find the source of it.
Oh,
You just
fuck
killed.
me.
You killed stuff, but didn't find the source. It's okay. They did. These guys decided to go out while Veil of Shadows decided to stay back and meditate. He wasn't feeling fully rested up yet. Dying and coming back will do that to a person. And Vigar, taking a liking to the cat person, decided to stay and watch over him. So you guys had basically spent a couple of days now in Sanctuary when the group here, the other two, ended up teleporting on back. Spent the night in the inn, and that's about that. James' character, Billiam, attempted to teleport back with the Obsidian Stone as well, and you guys don't know where he is. Just to let Steve and Grady know, out of character, out of game type stuff. Basically, he had to fight an owl barrel by himself, and he's lost in the woods somewhere. Yeah, he killed it. He got it. His AC is so high, like.
When did you guys do this session? I don't remember.
Yesterday,
roll or something?
Yeah.
I don't under.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
Did he fail a roll or something? Was there a roll with the?
Yeah,
so
if you
have to make a roll to get the teleport. Okay.
Yeah, if you notice every time you teleport, you gotta roll. I mean, it's hard to fail it, but I mean that's why I put it in there. Is for I was hoping that would happen at some point.
That hard, apparently.
Yeah. Well, no, he rolled a 1, so.
No.
I mean, a
Yeah.
natty 1's gonna do it.
It'll do it. Yeah.
All right, so I mean that's kind of the recap there. You guys, for those of you who played, it's probably pretty fresh in your minds, but you were able to find the source of what was going on there. There was a hobgoblin mage that you guys were able to dispatch with, easier than I thought you would be able to. You didn't get any of his crazy spells off on you, and then you killed him. You ended up freeing a prison tabaxi. Yeah, that's right. When you guys were out fighting, they fought Gorgon, a giant bull thing coated in metal, which ended up turning Guy to stone. And with some crazy feats of strength between the fighter and the Goliath barbarian there, they were able to, after a while, position the stone horse in such a way to where it was teabagging the metal bull.
So did he lose his fucking horse?
I gave him a potion that fixed it.
Yeah, they had to rub off on it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You
He
there's
got the minimum roll for the save.
yeah. He just hit the DC.
DC attacked me at the time.
Yep. So yeah, that happened. You guys freed a prison tabaxi that the hobgoblin mage had imprisoned, named Edge of the Wild. You asked him some questions. He lets you know. You asked him about Fang of a Snake, and he lets you know he's heard the name, and he's heard some tales of him operating somewhere up north near the Searing Basin. After which point you teleported back, and that was pretty much what we did last time. So at this point, I'd say it's probably morning. Scarlord and Zosa, you guys wake up feeling refreshed. Veil of Shadows and Vigar, you are probably staying in the inn as well, so you've probably all seen each other now and recapped how everything has gone. And that is that. It is up to you. What do you guys want to do now?
Party and Bastion.
Yeah, that's where Billiam went.
Party and Bastion?
We think Williams and Bastion.
He went ahead to party without us.
We were talking about going there. He went to party without us.
thought that's where we were at. Man, I'm so lost right now.
No, you're in Sanctuary.
Okay,
So I'll give
he's
you.
in Bastion.
I'll put you on the map if you want to see.
No, he's. We think he's in Bastion. Because we were talking about partying, and he just didn't show up. So I mean, it only makes sense that he went to go party without us.
It only makes sense.
Nope, he went to party without us. So we all should go to Bastion and have a good time. Celebrate our victory. Find our weird friend and his guy.
Yeah, first we thought he stayed behind to have some special alone time with his reunited horse.
With his reunited guy.
That's completely possible.
It's possible.
He's definitely fond of that horse.
He always talks about mounting it.
I did too once. It wasn't a pleasurable experience.
Never again.
My butt was sore for a week. So, Bastion, everyone.
I mean, is that where we're supposed to go? I mean, I'm kind of lost in the not feeling.
I mean, we turned in our quest in Sanctuary, and I mean, it doesn't really seem to defined on where we have to go.
Oh, okay. So what are we gonna look for Billiam then?
Yeah, and Bastion.
With the parties.
All right.
Where all the parties are. It's a party city.
What? Am I playing wing bad because of my hair? I can't do the growl. I can't do the growl today. It's not working for me. Oh, am I gonna be the wing bad? I can't do it. It's not working.
Oh, we also told Edge of the Wild? That was his name? We also told him to give a message if he ever runs into Fang of the Snake. And what was it? To call him a bitch?
To tell him he's a bitch.
Yeah.
I was gonna say fuck that guy, but hey, that works too.
Well,
we said it was for you.
Wait, Edge of the Wild. Does my character know this guy? I know who he is, but
yeah, I mean you do. But go ahead and roll me a history check, and we'll see. Because he exists, he doesn't know you.
Oh, if I've heard of him or not, I don't
right.
know if I have history check.
I don't care if it's checked or not, just roll it.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Yeah. So you don't have advantage on that, so that's actually an 8. Yeah, you're not sure.
Okay.
You don't know him.
Then I have no flipping key.
Well, let's go.
All right. Well, apparently I'm going to sort out the meaning of life and death with a pint of booze. I feel like it's wrong. I feel like it's the wrong character.
All right. So you guys are all in agreement that you want to go ahead and head on over to Bastion.
Before that, can a sorcerer make use of the book I got?
You can certainly hand it to him and ask him.
Yeah. So, my guy got this magic book, and I have no idea what to do with it.
I mean, I'll take it.
You know what to do.
Take a look at it.
So you take it and you flip through, and it appears to be a spell book. Vigar, you know what it is. You've heard of it because you're pretty well versed with magic, but you being a sorcerer, your magic comes kind of just from an innate ability rather than from study. Usually a wizard would have better luck with it, but you can try and pore over it, and over some time you might be able to learn a spell or two in there. But it would take you a very, very long time. It's not something that you're used to.
Okay. So can I just keep it then?
Yeah, I mean that's up to Zosa. If he gives it to you, then yeah.
Sure. You can have it.
Alright.
So we're all in the same place then, right?
Yeah, you're all gonna be right now. You're all at the Lone Inn there in Sanctuary. It doesn't even really have a name. It's just the inn. Sanctuary is so small.
I guess I'm gonna look at Scarlord and be like, "What is a potty?" I don't think he heard me.
We don't have a wizard though, right?
No, there's no
No,
wizard here now.
Okay. Yeah, so I might
What's
as
a
well just
what's a
keep this.
party? I don't know what a party is.
You don't
My
know
cat.
what a party is?
I'm a fucking cat. How would I know what a party is?
Ooh, I've heard of these things.
It has the
People
three
go in
best
and they
things
dance and there's
in the world.
music.
3 best things: booze, bitches.
Bitches.
Isn't that a dog?
Aren't those dogs?
Female women.
Oh.
Booze and bitches.
Okay.
I
3
think you
best
still mean
things.
dog.
Let's
But
let's go
I don't know if that would interfere with my monk training or not. I don't know. I mean, I don't have anything that says I can't get down, but hey, you know. How long will it take us to get there? Are we going to try to port there, or what are we doing?
If you teleport there, then 10 minutes. If you're trying to like walk it, I mean, about 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah, that's
I
up
don't
there.
think we should walk.
Fucking A. Yeah, I don't think we should walk
Maybe
that shit
maybe
either.
4.
It's-
Like
That
it's
sounds
over
like a
halfway across
very
the
bad
continent.
We all
idea.
have our own obsidian stones.
Yes,
Even,
yes. Yeah, Scarlord got one last session.
And our reward for the quest was that we got to keep stones. That's essentially it.
Yeah, they don't
That's
take
it?
them back from you or anything.
If I
Sanctuary's got
remember
nothing,
correctly-
man.
We
If I
gotta
remember
live.
correctly, my character doesn't like
Your name is
like Sanctuary either. I don't think I like this place anyway, if I remember correctly. I'm like, yeah, these guys can bugger off. So where are we going?
Bastion.
Anywhere but here? I'm okay with that.
We're going to Bastion. It's on Lake Zikrath. Between Lake Zikrath and the sea.
Yep, just outside the Wandering Forest there. So yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and teleport on over, everyone roll me a d20. Grady apparently already rolled his.
Oh, they're getting lower and
no.
lower. Oh!
You're okay. You're still okay. It's got to be a natty 1, but I do make you roll for it.
Oh, it literally has to be a natural
Yeah,
one.
yeah, but I still make you roll for it. I mean, hey, if they get like damaged or something later on, maybe I'll up it. But for right now, no, it's got to be a natural 1, so you're okay.
Oh, I was
So-
about ready to say it's a good day to die again, right?
So you guys are very familiar with the feeling here as you go ahead and meditate, use the stones, and through 10 minutes of concentration or so, concentrating on Bastion, party town. Which is funny because Bastion isn't really a party town; it's just like the biggest place that you can go to. You all meditate and concentrate rather, and travel on through. Scarlord, you start to feel your concentration wane, and for a second or two, once you all arrive, you're the last to come to, and for a moment you almost feel like it failed and you ended up somewhere else. But taking a couple of seconds, you do regain yourself and look around and see the rest of the party there. Before I kind of describe where you're at, Veil of Shadows, real quick. When you're meditating, like, what does your meditation look like? Do you have a deity, or are you just like a Buddhist type of thing, trying to like find the inner self type of deal, or kind of what's the
I don't think
force
he's like,
type of thing, or
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it's like with meditation. I mean, it's not necessarily he prays to one god. He knows clearly that there's afterlife and there's gods, but he himself hasn't yet to find that kind of religion. I guess
Right.
he's looking more into the next plane of existence that he knows that exists.
Okay.
It's kind of like when Goku dies and he goes to train even harder. That's where I'm going, bitches.
Right on. So yeah, like I'll say just real quick, in your time of like meditation and everything, you feel that what happened to you was very much not normal, and that your time back here is limited, and that there's a purpose behind it, and you have a very good idea of what that purpose is. There's someone who did you real bad in your life, and that person's becoming very powerful and is going to do a lot
Am I
worse to a lot more people.
Am I fucking Revenant?
No.
Oh,
Like
damn
he didn't even kill you. So if you were, then you'd be a revenant against a Metpit that's dead already. So that wouldn't really work. But no, it's more like you feel like you're here until the work is completed, and that he's the one who has to go. So there's kind of like an element to that there. But
I
you're
can't
not like an
move on.
undead or anything. You still got to
No.
eat, sleep, breathe, all that stuff.
I'm Gandalfing until I can go to take the boat, basically.
More or less, yeah. You're Gandalf the White, more or less, yeah.
I'm fucking
yeah.
cool with that, actually. Yeah, I mean, I'd be like, I'm not gonna. I think within his character, if they went that hard to try to bring him back, that he's not gonna tell him that. He wants to make sure this is his mission. He knows why he realizes he got killed, but he also realizes that once he finishes this, he can go to the place where he can find that peace and maybe even become stronger than what he was. So, yeah, I don't think I would tell the party that, just because that's his business. So he doesn't want to worry him. He doesn't want them to worry.
And then, real quick, Vigar, is there anything that you wanted to have done in your time off there, a couple days or so? Anything in particular? Okay.
No, I think Vigar would have just been like keeping to himself, basically.
Okay. Especially in like this campaign right here, especially since it's like a play when you can type of thing. We'll be looking into downtime stuff. So like if there is a downtime activity that you want to do, whether it's like crafting something or learning a new spell, learning a new language, learning a new skill, whatever, making money, that sort of thing, just tell me and we'll look into that at some point.
I have no money, so therefore I'd probably just train, try to get stronger. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, but that sort of thing, to where I give you proficiency with another weapon or different type of armor, or you learn a language, or like that sort of thing we can work towards, which is kind of a cool little thing that I've never gotten to explore before.
I do have some heads, I think. I don't know what to do with them. I got heads in my inventory. Apparently, I think they're worth something.
Oh, that's right, the fish heads.
Maybe we can get something for them here, because they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I forgot I had these." There's like a bunch of.
Nice.
I think there's like, God, I don't even know how many there are.
I think there were 12.
You were just carrying fish heads with you for days.
Pretty much.
You didn't know.
Yeah. Did I give you guys like a bag of holding or anything yet?
No. They're like.
Ooh, then you're like packed full, man.
Yeah, I got a bunch of heads.
Yeah.
Shadows, your pack smells really bad.
you're just like eating them.
I've been training very hard. No time for a fucking
smells like rotten fish.
Oh.
You've been training your rotten fish.
No.
Did you roll in something?
I have these. I hold up these heads. I'm like, I think we can get money for them.
You're disgusting.
Coming from Barbarian, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Clean and smart.
He talked about bath bombs yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
Bath bombs.
He lavender and I can't remember. Lavender and vanilla. That's right. Yeah.
Lavender and
very good. Very good.
Apple.
Yeah. All right. So all that to say, we'll go ahead and jump back to you guys arriving in Bastion here. So as you all kind of come to and regain your consciousness and rematerialize here, you find yourself materializing in an enclosed room around a large obsidian gate here. That obsidian pillar in front of you is roughly 15 feet tall. There is a domed ceiling overhead, which rises to about 4 feet above that pillar there. This is a circular room, and is rather small, though. It's only about 15 feet in diameter. Against the wall, there stands a guard on one side, who's next to the single door, only door in the room. The guard kind of shouts through a slit that you can see in the door, and shouts that four creatures have teleported on in. They don't look dangerous, but we should come check it out.
Is this Bastion? Place looks boring. And we're not creatures. We're heroes.
The door opens and you see there's about 10 guards or so standing outside, and they kind of beckon you outside.
Okay, let's go. This place is boring.
I have a question about the obsidian stones.
Yeah.
When you roll on that one, does it just teleport you somewhere random, like not where there's an obsidian tower nearby? Oh, okay.
You've never experienced it before. You've never even, like, you've heard of what these are maybe, but you've never had any experience with them except for what's happened in the game so far.
Okay.
So I'm assuming you all walk out, or?
kind of have no choice, right? I mean, they just told us to come with them. They're armed, correct?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it's wise to do what they say. So maybe I'll be like, maybe we can trade. I have 12 heads and 24 fins.
All right, so you all go ahead and step on out. We're not. We're just soldiers of the town. I'm not interested in your heads and fins. And as you step out,
soldiers of the island.
Which and when you say of the island, they all start to draw their weapons. And say which island.
This is an island, right? That we're on.
This is a continent that you're on.
Okay.
There's islands off the shore there.
Okay. Then we're guardians of the continent.
Just roll me a quick persuasion check.
Geography, I'm sorry. He thought what we were in is an island.
Yes, but he said island, and those islands off the coast are they're scary as hell stuff.
It looks like Hawaii. Like this is the mainland, and there's little islands.
That's fair, but this is like an actual full continent, like it's big, and then there's the little islands.
Okay, we're guardians of the continent.
Just guardians of Zikrath.
All right. Well, with that, he's. I don't care what you roll. He's not gonna buy anything you're saying. He just thinks you're like obnoxious more than anything.
He's a dick.
But when you step on out there, you find yourselves in the middle of the town. There, it looks like it must be Bastion. There's in the distance you can see large towering walls. And looking around, this almost feels like an actual city. Now it's definitely a lot bigger than Sanctuary. Definitely feels more lively, if that's the word. It still feels pretty like hopeless and full of despair, like everything in this continent does. But people seem to hopefully be able to get by here. As you step on out, though, they ask, "Who are you? How did you get here?"
I'm Quixote. These are my friends, Zosa, and Veil of Shadows, and Vigar. And we got these little stones, and we think about them real hard, and we get to go places.
Where'd you get the obsidian gate stone?
Sanctuary.
Roll me just a quick persuasion check.
Do we have anybody with like a high charisma here? Well, wait, the Snake Man, right?
Good enough. Yeah, the Snake Man probably is better. It's you can't just like throw a persuasion in when you've said nothing.
I just wanted to.
I'm persuading.
How are you persuading them? Just by standing there?
You could tell from
the 12 is fine though. I just wanted to make sure you didn't totally fumble over yourself, especially since you're letting the barbarian Goliath speak for you guys.
It's a good idea. Trust me.
But he the guard.
To be fair, it's not like the cat can do any better.
Yeah, that's fair. The guards though kind of like loosen up a bit and just kind of sheathe their weapons and whatnot. And then one who kind of appears to be the leader kind of says, "Oh, okay, well, no, I know Sanctuary's been having some problems. They makes sense they would have given you some stones if you had helped them out or something. Not a problem. Just be cautious. We are wary of those we don't know. You can never be too careful. What?
No, go ahead. You can
Okay.
finish.
But you're welcome. Welcome to stay here. Just know that anybody who causes trouble will be dealt with swiftly."
We're just here to celebrate our victory, have a little party.
I want to ask.
Do they have shiny armor on?
They have. Yes, they would be wearing like a chain armor.
I'm just gonna. He's just gonna walk up to him. He's just kind of poking at it. He's like, "What is this made of?"
Stop! Please stop that. It's just Your typical chain armor made of metal. Why are you doing this?
It's very shiny.
Can you please stop poking the guards?
Okay.
Thank you. No one's like terribly offended or anything. They're just more confused and a little disturbed that they've been like poked and prodded at by some cat man.
To be fair, so am I actually, but I'm like thinking, I'm like, guards, shiny stuff. And I'm like, okay, I have been dead. I need a little bit of interaction. I'm like, what is this? You know, I'll lose interest quickly enough. Don't worry.
I want to ask the guard if anyone else has come through here, because we lost one of our friends or these two lost one of our companions on their way back to Sanctuary through the teleport, and we thought maybe he came here
through the gate.
LA.
Oh. Yeah, tall lesbian fish man.
Lesbian fish man. Got it. Okay, that's amazing.
Horse.
I haven't seen anybody come through the Obsidian Gate for about a week or so. Last one was expected messenger. You guys are the first unexpected arrival we've had in some time.
Oh, okay.
That's puzzling. Do you know where any other Obsidian towers might be?
Well, the Obsidian Gates, we know of the three in the three main towns, ours, Sanctuary, and Mist. Outside of that, it's an old ancient magic. There's rumors about ones people have seen here and there. The obsidian itself comes from the mountains to the east there. It's as old as the continent itself. I couldn't tell you.
Did you guys have like a meetup point or something? If you guys got split up or something, this was it?
Well, we made it very clear that we planned on coming here.
To party.
Yeah, if we were seeking more information on these stones, is there anyone in town or nearby that we could go to?
Good question. The highest authority on the stones are the ones who make them. There's a few mages, not very many. Like I said, it's ancient, and I don't know much about magic myself anyway. But there are only a few mages that we know of who are able to make them. They're normally well guarded and well, looked after because they are so important. I know Sanctuary has one. We have a few in town here. I'm not certain that I'm allowed to disclose their location. You're more than welcome. To ask Lord Samish about them. He's the ruler here. He has the authority to give you more information should you require it.
Baratheon?
Sorry?
What?
Did you say
what
something?
What did you say his name was? Lord Stannis?
No, Lord Samish. So, gotcha. You thought I said Samus. Gotcha. Yeah, no, Samish. Samash.
Well, let's go find Lord Sandwich. And,
I knew that was gonna happen.
Alright, I'll thank the soldier as well before we leave.
I'm just gonna tug at Scarlet and be like, "What's a sandwich?"
So you take like bread, and in the middle of it you put cheese and meat of your choosing.
Can the cheese be of your choosing as well?
No. But I can tell you my favorite cheese comes from human, and my favorite meat happens to be cat.
Alright.
Not tabaxi though. Tabaxi's too tough.
You're damn right I'm too tough. I'm gonna go stand by Grady. Like, this guy creeps me out now. He eats cats. That's kind of
human cheese.
Well, as Vigar, you thank the guard there. He says, but of course, just remember, troublemakers will be dealt with. So your nose clean. But does kind of point
I'm no
you.
brown nose there.
He just shakes his head at you, clearly ignoring the joke, because it didn't land at all.
Damn.
Do the guards know the whereabouts of the wizards?
Go ahead and make a quick insight check. Insight. You're not sure. You're not sure if he knows where they are and is not allowed to tell, or he actually doesn't even know. But either way, he does point you in the direction of Lord Semish.
He said in conversation that he doesn't know if he's allowed to tell us where they are.
Well, let's go find this sandwich, man.
Man.
I'm hungry.
So, I mean, he does point you in the direction. There's a large keep on the eastern side of town there. Just real quick, I'll go through a quick description of Bastion. Bastion is the largest and most prominent civilized settlement in Zikrath. The place almost resembles an actual city someone would possibly consider living in. The proximity to the Wandering Forest is what would have drawn people here to begin with. Realizing that many resources could be found and sent via boat rather easily from the location. Over time, people began to realize the danger this continent provides could be mitigated should they band together and construct a stronghold here. Bastion exists. Bastion boasts impressive large stone walls, capable of withstanding attacks from the most fearsome of foes. The city is surrounded by these walls on 3 sides, the 4th side being met by the coastline. The city still exists in a rather hopeless place, but inside the feeling is far more uplifting than in, say, Sanctuary or even in Mist. Most who spend their time in Bastion need not fear the outside world, though any resources the cities consume, such as wood, stone, crafting materials, and especially food, must be acquired from the outside the safety of the city walls. Inside the city, you'll find craftsmen, alchemists, enchanters, and the like. Some very low-level, basic ones. There's a few that are of very, very high regard, though. You do find the keep is about 600 feet or so away from the docks on the southeastern side of the town as you make your way there.
I'll take the heads and fins and trade them.
As you guys go ahead and approach the keep, there are certainly guards outside who will not let you enter in. Do you guys just like walk right up to them, or?
Yeah.
I mean, somebody should talk to him. I mean, we're trying to get in there to talk to the leadership.
Wait, where is this? Sorry.
So you guys are in Bastion. I don't have a map of Bastion made, but you guys are walking up to the keep there. It's on the southeast side of town, about 600 feet away from the docks and the coastline there. It's a large stone keep with guards outside the front of it.
And that's where Mr. Sandwich is?
That's where Lord Samish was described to have being, where he resides, essentially.
Okay.
Hello. Can we talk to Lord Sandwich?
What's your business here? What's your business with the Lord?
Well, we lost our friend with these fancy rocks. I'm gonna toss it up and down. And,
as you pull the rock out, the one guard leans on over to the other and says, "They have the stones. That's rare. They must be important."
Very, very important.
One moment here. As he goes on in and just kind of leaves you outside. About 5 or so minutes pass, and he comes back and kind of beckons you in through the keep.
That was easy.
Stepping on in, these guards, they see something that they feel like means you're important, essentially. Felt it was worth letting the Lord know, and he's got nothing better to do right now anyway. So walking on through, you end up coming to on the ground floor there. It's kind of the throne room, if you will. It's not fancy by any means. There's a bear pelt on the ground as a rug of sorts. On the far end, there is a wooden chair, which essentially is the throne, but there's nothing ornate about it. It's slightly better than a chair you would see at an average inn, essentially. In there sits a man who must be this Lord Samish. He's actually covered in scales, red scales. You guys would recognize this as a dragonborn, who is covered in those the red scales there, wearing just a simple tunic, nothing too ornate either. A couple of rings on his fingers. It kind of beckons you on forward.
Hello, Lord Sandwich.
Hello, you know my name? Might I have yours?
I am Keothi Scarlord.
Keothi? How did you come by one of these obsidian gate stones? We don't generally hand those out like candy to just about anybody.
We stole them. I'm kidding.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm kidding. We helped out a man in Sanctuary.
He
Oh,
looks at
Thomas.
you and kind of smirks and chuckles a bit. He can take a joke. So he was certainly okay with that. You actually might have endeared yourself to him a little bit with kind of the lightheartedness of everything. Some people around here take things a little too seriously. I mean, they call me a lord, and what am I a lord of? Let's be real.
You're Lord
So
of
you-
the Wooden Chair and Bear Pelts.
Exactly. I like this one. And so you tell him about Sanctuary and everything. I mean, he hears your story. So how can I help you? What have you come to see me for then?
Well, we lost our Triton friend and his guy horse. When we were traveling, and we would like to find one of the wizards that enchants these stones to find him. Also, your best bar and brothel.
Well, on the second note, I can gladly accommodate. There's really the only place worth going to in town. It's called One Last Pint. You'll find it on the north side of town there. Just ask around. Anybody will direct you to it. That's the place. That's the place to be. As far as the wizard, we very rarely let anyone else, especially people we don't know, come into contact with them. They're so valuable, and no offense, but I can't trust you.
Would you like to bring our message to them?
Certainly, I can look into that. So your friend went missing when using the stone, and you're trying to find out how to find him.
Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that would sound right, yes.
I do know the stones may have a way of tracking each other. I'm not sure, but you are able to teleport from one stone to another.
Oh, that's right. Then that. Well, I wouldn't know that, but didn't think about
I'm
that.
pretty sure
That
they did
said,
tell us that when they gave it to us.
I think we said that when I gave them to you.
Yeah.
If not, whatever. It's a common use of them. That said, if you're just looking to track him, find out where he is, and unable to teleport to his side, or unwilling, because who knows where he is, it might be wise to try and find out if they can track. I can speak with one of the wizards, and
Are you one? You seem to know a lot about these stones. Are you one of the wizards?
I have no magical ability whatsoever. I wish I did. It would be fun. It would make life so much more interesting. But
you
no,
breathe
alas, I've just
fire?
used them. Can he breathe fire? That's a good question. I can't remember what red
Should be.
dragonborns can
It's
do.
chromatic. Yeah, red dragons.
Red, I
breathe
can't
fire.
remember. Red is fire?
Red is fire.
Okay.
Red, bronze, gold.
Thank you. So he kind of chuckles a little bit. looks over to one side. There's nothing but a stone wall on that side there, and just kind of goes, and just a quick burst of fire bursts out in either a line or a cone. I can't remember how theirs work. At the wall there.
That definitely piques my interest, and I just go, ooh.
I'm gonna toss.
How did you do that?
Into the fire.
You're gonna toss what into the fire?
One of the fish heads.
So it's not like there's nothing for it to catch. It just kind of like flashes and is gone.
Yeah, he literally puffed and that was it.
Right.
He didn't, like, let it off.
And then he just throws the fish head right after all the flames.
And the fish head just like tosses against the wall, and he just kind of like looks at you strangely, like, "Why would you do that?"
I wanted to cook it with your mouth.
I'm afraid I'm not quite that talented.
Can you teach me how to do that?
I'm afraid it's inherent ability in my kind. It's not magical.
Do you know any dragonborn women?
Yes.
I would love to have a child that can breathe fire and also be a giant Goliath.
So you're looking to sire a dragonborn child.
Yes.
So you're willing to settle down and marry?
No.
Then I'm afraid I cannot help you. If you were, I do know a few who are looking for a husband, but...
Anyways, let's get on with it.
And Star-Lord runs away.
I still want to ask him if he knows if there are any other obsidian gates other than the three main ones.
He doesn't. He knows the ones that everyone knows. The three in the three main cities here. Kind of tells you the same story as everyone else has so far. There may be more. It's ancient magic. Not quite sure.
All right, I would also
Maybe the wizards know more.
Yeah, I was just gonna say if he could please ask the wizards for us, that would also be very appreciated.
He nods. He says, "I'll approach one of them at least. Ask them some questions. At this point, right now, you guys teleported here in the daytime. So he says, if you come back in the evening, around nightfall or so, a little before, I should be able to answer anything that I found out."
Well, what do you guys want to do now?
I want a bath, and I want you to take these heads and see if you can get anything for them.
Okay, we'll do that. But
I need-
so many
don't you
times.
I
kind of
need a
bathe
fucking
yourself?
bath.
Don't you just kind of lick yourself and do it like that?
Contrary to popular fucking belief, I do like to be clean. I've meditated for a very, very long time.
Would you like us to lick you for yourself? For you?
I'm just gonna walk up to him and I'm gonna take my finger and I'm gonna flip him in the head and walk towards the end.
Just gonna turn to the other two and be like, I don't know what that means.
You just assume it means yes,
It's
right?
like it's the Sasuke, flip to the head. You know what I mean? If you ever watched Naruto, it's like the whole or not Sasuke, but as Itachi's flip to Sasuke's head and just walks off. So more irritated, but whatever. He's used to it by now, I assume.
Nice.
I want to.
All right, so
I'm gonna get some money so I can get in this inn and take a bath, please.
so Veil of Shadows walks on over to the inn. Do the rest of you kind of go with, or where are you guys going?
Well, we gotta sell these heads and fins.
Okay. So I mean, the town is lively enough. A lot of buildings around. A lot of buildings around are just kind of pieced together with whatever materials people can find. Plenty of homes are made up of a combination of wood, stone, straw, even just mud. But some of the people who can kind of afford to send out gatherers and bring back more uniform material have some nicer looking establishments that all have the same material that they're made out of. Most of these that have uniform material are going to be merchants or craftsmen or such. So looking around before too long, you're able to find kind of a general merchant that might be interested in what you have there.
We have some heads and some fins. Do you like them?
Heads and fins. Let me see there. How many heads and fins do you guys have again? It's 12 heads and 24 fins. Is that
Yeah,
what it
there's
is?
literally 12
Lord.
heads and 24 fins I've had on my person.
That
Because I meditated while you guys gaped.
Good lord. So he
Yeah,
kind
kinda
of,
reek.
the guy at the store there, kind of like shouts on back to somebody else to come take a look at everything. And the person who ends up coming up to take a look is clearly like more of an alchemist, and is able to kind of like take a look at everything and see what might be worthwhile and what might not be. Second here. Yeah. Oops. There we go. So looking through everything, they say, yeah, these certainly could be used for alchemy and that sort of thing. They're just raw materials, though. Rare, but just raw materials. We can give you 20 gold for the lot.
is that a good deal? What do you guys think? Think we're getting ripped off?
I don't think I'm there.
No, Veil of Shadows isn't there. The other two are, though,
Bounced.
I believe.
How much do they offer?
20 gold for the whole thing.
You guys want to try and
Let's get rid of them. They stink.
haggle them? Haggle them up?
Yeah, I want to
guess
try and
could.
haggle them up to 30.
Okay.
I know these things are worth 30 gold pieces each.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Or each altogether. Oh my god.
Good luck selling them at 30 to anybody else around here.
I promise that they're worth 30.
Look, you don't want these things anymore. Just give them to me. We'll give you 20 gold. You can go spend it at the inn.
25.
Ugh, no. 22 and get out of here.
23 and we're done.
I said 22. Now take it or leave it.
21.
Okay.
Done.
They take the fish heads and fins and give you 21 gold and kind of shoo you out the door before you realize what you just did there.
Got them. Dude, I feel like we're gonna see some paranormal activity shit on Steve's cam.
Yeah,
Oh god, that's terrifying.
it's entirely possible.
I don't like this.
Does
He's gonna
someone
come
make
back with
sure-
like a flashlight and just
No,
makes
it's
like
gonna-
shadows on the background.
Mask on, I'm gonna piss myself.
I know, right?
Did someone make sure to put the gold into their thingy?
Yeah, did someone write that down somewhere? Or?
I mean, alright, I'll just put it in my thing.
Okay.
Do we want to split it between four of us? 21 5 piece. Steve can have the extra one because he was the one.
Has he
that
been carrying them? Sure.
5 for the three of us, 6 for him.
Okay, then I'll just add it.
Yeah.
Get a cat.
Get a cat.
Glad there was no paranormal activity shit going on.
Huh?
He is the paranormal activity.
Right.
I am the paranormal. I'm fucking Gandalf, bitches. Yeah.
They decided to just split up the gold there and gave you the extra one, so you get 6 gold. From
Oh,
the,
nice.
from the
I
thing
can have a
and all.
good meal, maybe. That'd be
From there, is there anything else you guys want to do before heading on over to the inn then?
Can I
wanna
stop
go
by
to
the blacksmith?
Yeah. So there's definitely
seems like a
a
good
few
idea,
different
yeah.
craftsmen. Are you looking for like just kind of a general blacksmith or someone who's
Let's
kind
go.
of makes
Is there
some
like an armor
good
smith
stuff?
specifically?
I'm looking for
Uh,
good weaponsmith.
So there are going to be a couple of very specialized places that make crazy high quality stuff, and those will be specialized to armor or weapons. But then there are plenty of general blacksmiths or craftsmen who kind of do anything standard that you need.
Let's go to the specialized armor guy.
Okay. So asking around and looking around, it's not super hard to find. Again, the ones especially who make like the really specialty stuff, their places actually look nice. They look like something you might even find on one of the other continents of the world here, rather than like the disheveled landscape that is this place. So you're able to find an armorer, a very high quality armorer. So you walk on in then, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
All right.
What's up?
Here's walking on in, you see there is kind of like a counter there, but behind the counter there's a forge and anvil and everything, and you just hear clank, clank, and back there is a dwarf male just clanking on some armor there.
So I go up to the counter. Excuse me, is anyone here?
So he hears you, kind of like turns around and says, "Oh, didn't see you there." And just kind of like puts his tools down and walks on up to the counter. What can I do for you?
So I go ahead and pull out the 3/4 of a gorgon hide that I have in my bag. And, are you able to make anything out of this?
Holy shit!
He looks at it and he just kind of starts pouring it over and he's like, "Whew, this is some mighty fine metal bull hide. Where'd you find it?"
Well, it almost killed us, and I managed to kill it. I skinned its body.
And he just kind of like stops looking at it and just stares up at you for a second. You're telling me you killed this thing? These are mighty beasts. That is incredibly impressive. Wow.
I'm
And
a mighty Goliath.
I'm very glad to have met you. That's impressive. And he's just kind of like stammering over himself there. He's in the presence of some people that he never really thought he would ever be in the presence of someone who was capable of doing this. And then he starts to think, and he gets excited. He's like, I can create some armor for some real warriors. And he starts to look over it. He's like, I'm sorry, I forgot the question. You were wondering about making something out of this?
Yeah, it's like a chess piece or something for our Goliath friend here.
I can't wear armor.
Oh, you can't wear armor?
Uh-huh.
Who can wear armor in our group?
If you're looking for like heavy armor, you're the fighter, the Triton, Billiam.
Could he make
The
like
fish
a
person
You can make
who's
horse
MIA
armor
right
too.
now.
Sorry, what was that, Jimmy?
Could a weapon could like a better great axe be made out of it?
It's possible. I mean, it's metal.
We might be able to get some weapons out of it.
As far as
enchanted this guy.
as
He
far as
loves it.
armor, he kind of looks over it. He's like, I could make a full set of plate mail out of this. Or if you wanted to
Holy
piece it out, do
fucking
something
shit.
else. It's a gigantic bowl, and they got most of it. So I could make a full set of plate mail and probably use the whole thing. Otherwise, I can piece it out, do a breastplate or something. It's up to you.
Horn too, right?
Yeah, you guys have a horn.
Oh,
also.
I do have a horn.
I don't know.
Make a cool deck.
Am I with you guys, or am I still gone? I don't.
You're
I
still
went and
gone.
slipped out.
You
Alright, never mind.
you went to go take a bath.
Sexy then. All right, I have no idea what's going on then.
They
Go
charge
ahead.
you a silver,
Carry on.
by the way, for a room with a bath.
I'll have to put it on my credit card until they come back, because if I haven't seen them since then, my party has the bag of money.
You don't even have a silver with you?
I have nothing.
Oh,
I
okay.
have my sword.
Make a
I have
perception
my
check
bow.
falling on the ground.
I have
On it.
my arrows. That's it.
Make a persuasion real quick for me to see if they let you take it on credit.
All right. I don't think it's a negative. All right.
You know, it's still possible.
Nat 20. Oh.
Yeah, no, you are, instead of taking a bath, you are sitting alone in the corner of an inn. Like, are you trying to beg somebody for a silver so that you can take a bath, or are you just kind of accepting your lot there?
I'm way too proud for that.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
I'm gonna walk out. I'll just find a place where I can sit and wait on them, and just be like, "Wow, I really should have asked for some of the loot." I'm just gonna take my sword and just sit and just keep my head down, just kind of just sit there. I don't know what else to do. Like the sad black warrior cat with no money. Kind of chilling there.
Fair enough. Do you Yeah, okay.
Actually, I could offer if they need some work done or something. I could work for them for about an hour or two, maybe pay for my
could offer
the inn.
Sword as collateral until
Fuck
you get
no, I ain't offering anybody my sword. Ain't nobody get my sword.
As collateral, like when you give them money, you get your sword back.
I'd rather wait. I'm not giving them. I ain't letting anybody touch my sword. That's precious to me. No, that was a gift. I will not. I will stink before I do that. I will sit there. Instead of my head down, I'll have it with pride.
If you offer to like work for it, they're not having it. Sadly, they're not super busy right now. It's still daytime, so they don't really feel the need.
I'll just go outside then and just do my thing. I'm just gonna wander around and see if I find anything interesting. See if I find something shiny on the ground. Just kind of wait for these guys to do their thing, because I'm like, well, fuck that one up. Let's see if I can find something interesting.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and go back to Zosa, but Steve, just roll an investigation check whenever you want to. So Zosa, that's kind of his response to the whole armor question.
This guy can't make any weapons, just armor.
This is the armor specifically that you went to.
Oh, okay. Oh man, I'll feel kind of bad if we don't get any armor from this guy now.
Yeah, we came into his store with this. And then we just
He's like salivating over the prospect of working with this.
We can't even wear. Do I get disadvantage casting in armor, right? Or like.
Yeah. Yeah, so Billiam can wear it. He's the only guy that you guys know so far who would be able to.
I actually have no proficiency in armor, so.
Yeah, I mean, if all else fails, give it to him, and then he'll like owe you a life debt or something, because like full plate armor is trying out the metagame, but it's fucking expensive, man.
It is. I mean, he didn't charge you. He didn't give you a price yet. He's gonna charge you to make something also, but it wouldn't be like the full cost of it, because full plate I think is like 2,000 gold or something.
Super expensive, especially out of a rare material like this. It might even be more.
I'm gonna go ahead and check out our other options. Yeah. With that,
he just kind of like looks at you almost worried, and says, "Oh, okay. Well, please, I hope you come back. It was great. What is your name?"
I am Zosa.
Zosa, my name is Fari. Please come back. It would be great to see you again.
Just make him make it. Just make the armor out of it. Who cares? Well, no one use it. Just have him make it for us.
No.
We'll keep it in our stash in case one of us dies.
I'm just gonna ask him for an estimate, just to make him feel better. Hopefully.
So you ask him how much he would charge?
Yeah.
Okay. So he looks around. He's like, "Well, for a fine warrior such as yourself, and already providing the material, and such a treat to work with at that, normally a full plate armor out of a normal material would go for around 1,500 gold. This will be worth much more. I can guarantee you that for sure. But since you've already provided the materials, and I like you, I'll give you a discount. I could let it go for about 700."
We don't have 700.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let him know. Just so you know, right now we have nowhere near 700 gold.
I see.
So.
Well, unfortunately it takes a long time to do. As I'm trying to give you the best deal that I can. I might be willing to come down a tad, but That was already a very good deal there.
I understand. We may be back if we find
If we
riches.
find 700 gold.
Well, either
Yeah.
way, it would be good to chat with you sometime. I'm sure that was a great story.
I wasn't there, but
And he no
I'm
longer
sure.
is interested in anything you have to say.
God damn it! I don't care
I
about you.
was
You
there.
lost our
I-
business. You suck.
I struck the killing blow.
You did, and he reaches out. He's like, "Can I shake your hand, sir?"
You tell a bunch of
Quite
catchphrases.
large.
Sorry, what was that, Scarlet?
Fuck this. I'm leaving. I'm gonna go find the cat.
And you can shake my
Fuck this shit.
He,
I'm gonna go
so he
play with
reaches
the
out and then
stinky
he asks your name, Scarlord.
My name is Keothi Scarlord.
Scarlord, I like that. It was great to have met you. I normally do very, very good work. I'm well known.
I believe you.
Hopefully, yeah.
I don't wear armor.
I see you don't even need it, do you?
No, but if you can point me in the direction of a weaponsmith.
Hey, a weaponsmith. Definitely. My brother, down the road there. If you go down the road, it's going to be about 3 shops down, and to the left, you'll meet my
Okay.
brother Akan. He just as good as I am, only with weapons rather than armor, of course.
Okay, I can.
Let him know I sent you.
Okay.
This is gonna
Thank
be
you,
messed up.
buddy.
We go to his shop and then go work with this guy.
Also, we'll be
You're probably
getting
gonna cut,
drinks at the at what was the bar called? The Last
Uh,
Pint.
yeah, one last pint is what it's called.
We'll be up at One Last Pint later on. Tell your friends, it's a celebration.
A celebration. From slaying this?
And magic hobgoblin that was
Magic
terrorizing Sanctuary.
Magic scares the shit out of me. That's impressive.
God.
Yeah, I might see you up there.
Okay. I'm gonna go see your brother now. Hopefully, we can afford him. We're a bunch of broke ass bitches.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we go to the weapons.
brother.
All right, so with his directions, you're able to find it easily enough. Walking on in, you see it's a different type of setup. So in Fari's shop, it was pretty bland, just the forge and the counter there. In his brother Akan's shop, instead, the walls are kind of lined with weaponry. It's not like cluttered or anything, but you can definitely see very well made weapons on the walls there. He has a no counter or anything. It's all just an open room there, with him just kind of standing there, polishing one of the swords on the wall. He sees you guys come in and says, come in. How can I help you?"
Better
Your
service than
brother.
your brother.
Sorry, what?
Your
Nothing, I'm not
brother
even there anymore.
Ferrari.
My brother Fari, he sent you.
Yes.
Well, good. How can I help you?
We were looking to make something out of this, and I pull out the Gorgon hide.
And the horn.
Maybe we can make the horn into like a wand or something.
He just kind of
wand
like
like a
scratches the
dagger.
back of his head there and goes, "Oh my, a Gorgon hide. I haven't seen one of those in quite some time. That's quite a treat to work with. I know my brother would be more excited about the hide than I. I can do something with it. Generally the hide isn't super well suited for weapons. That horn there, it could be worthwhile. I could make a sword or something out of that. The hide, I can certainly melt some of it down, forge it into some sort of bladed weapon. Just about anything you would require. Something bludgeoning like a hammer or a maul. It's probably not going to work, but something bladed I could do.
What about like a really good great axe?
A great axe? I could do a great axe. It would certainly wouldn't take all of it. Use
The
something else for the
greatest
handle.
of great axes.
The greatest of great axes.
Well, something better than this one.
Definitely, I could make you a better one than that one. Looking at it, it's still like just coated in blood. It's rusty.
Oil.
Yeah, oil too. There's green stuff all over it from like the hobgoblin. There's like it's nasty. Been beat to shit. Like I could definitely make you something better than that. I wouldn't even need this to do that. But yes, I could make a good great axe. It would cost. It would take up eh, maybe a quarter of what you have here, maybe even less. Um, yeah, I could make you one. It would probably run you close to 300 gold.
Oof.
I don't have that much. I
Ah,
have 59, but I can do you a favor. I'll owe you one.
yes, see, I appreciate that, but I'm not in the business of dealing in favors. I need coin.
Well, if Bastion were to ever get attacked, you guys might need some heroes.
We have the guard.
Well, then you currently don't have my business, because I'm poor.
I'm sorry to hear that. I would be more than happy to forward something for you, should you be able to pay for it. Hopefully I see you again sometime.
I'm
As
having
far
a party tonight. You should come.
a party, here in Bastion.
Yeah, I told your brother about it. You guys could come together.
Okay, I will talk to him. We'll see. As far as that horn
Please.
there, though, that does excite me. I could certainly make a sword out of that. Again, it would cost some, um, around the same ballpark, 200 to 300 gold. But should you find it, I'd be
Would
more
you
than happy
buy
to
the
make something.
horn?
Buy the horn. There's an idea. Um, he just kind of like strokes his beard for a while. I would love to work with the horn. I definitely would be willing to buy it. Um, let me see here. I would I could purchase it for 100 gold.
What do you guys think?
What if we stumble into riches after we try and find Billiam? What if Billiam's making it rich right now?
He could be rolling around in an owlbear's nest. You never know what you'll find in that shit.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I'm not there. Never mind.
I think we should hold on to them for a little while and weigh our options.
Steve, what is that in your webcam?
Is that your phone?
My computer, because I'm playing in the shadows because I stink and I'm eating chips, so you don't have to see me.
Fair
He
enough.
is the veil of shadows.
I figured it was like, playing the shadows while you guys, since I'm like stinky and outside of an inn, and I figured the darkness was appropriate because I'm sad and broke. And
This is the method
Smelly.
acting form of playing D&D right here.
I am a very yes.
I need to get into character.
This is a harder character for me, to be honest, because I'm like so
Oh, I
used
know,
to my
yeah.
other ones. I'm like, God, I gotta be a dick or something. But not a funny one. I'm like, okay.
Right. Alright, so you guys are just gonna hold on to the horn for now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a shame. I would love to work with it. If you do come up with the gold to make the sword or something like that, I'd be more than happy to make it for you. Or if you do end up wanting to sell it sometime, I would be more than happy to take it. I really can't go higher than 100 gold, but offer stands.
I'll just make my packed weapon the sword.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that.
I'm ready to go back to the inn and have a nice hot bath.
All right.
Yeah, bath bombs for everyone.
All right, so back at the inn, Veil of Shadows, how far off did you venture? Did you stay around the inn there, or?
Yeah, I don't think I would have went too far because
Okay.
I know that they'll be coming back there. They
So-
wouldn't expect me to be clean, I suppose, but yeah.
In the time that you were wandering around there, you found some various shiny things in the ground here and there. You picked them up, examined them. You found about 5 or 6 shards of glass that were really, really shiny. That's about it.
Fantastic. Arrowhead material, and I just put them in my pocket.
Sure. I mean, if you want to put in your inventory, you've got I'll say 5 shards of glass.
Could stab
You
someone.
never know.
You do. Hey, you never know. Like, it could come in handy.
Crush him up into a powder and blow it in someone's eye.
I am quite creative when it comes to my own inventory things.
Yeah. You do see the rest of the party approaching, though, approaching the inn there.
I'm just
Would you
gonna
have seen
casually
me way
stand up
before
and-
since I left during the
Oh, I don't remember. Yeah, it's true.
stupid guy not wanting
Oh,
to
that's
talk
right.
to-
Like, you left. You didn't even
Yeah.
go to the second one, did you? Yeah, I guess you would have seen him earlier. Would you just continue to help look for shiny things, or what would you guys do there?
I would have asked him why he's picking up broken glass off the floor.
I have no money for a bath.
Well, I can loan you some money.
You said you gave me
Wait.
money, but I wasn't there when you guys got it. So I'm like, I put it in my inventory, but for where you guys were, I was like, well, I just played
Right.
like I had no money. So yeah.
I have 9 gold pieces right now. Or could we just say that I had his?
Sure.
Yeah, that's
has his
fine. That's fine.
I'll give him his 6 gold pieces. Be like,
Did you put them? Did you hold them out in your hand?
yeah, sure.
I gotta make a check here.
Oh no.
Oh, he wouldn't hurt you.
Just trying to see how quick you can swipe at it.
Nah, he's just gonna casually be like, take it from his hands and go, thank you.
And then I'll just be like, I don't know. I'm just walking in there. I guess. I'm assuming.
So you walk on in. Not too long
Oh.
after the other two walk on in.
Question:
Yeah.
The person, the innkeeper I was talking to, is that a man or a woman?
It's a male. It's actually a Goliath male.
That's fine. I'm gonna take a gold piece of like bitches and bath.
So you're trying to hire a lady of the evening.
I
Huh?
don't know. I'm just doing it because they said we were.
Okay.
I have no
Oh, so you
idea.
have no idea that you just say those 2 words, and that's it.
It's bitches
So-
They told me we were coming for
And you
bitches
give a full gold, and he just kind of looks at you, nods, and points to a door in the corner there. Do you go through that door?
To my tabaxi friend.
Well,
pat him
yeah,
on the back,
I gotta
Have
go
fun
through
with
the
your
door. I'm like, I'm thinking
bitches.
there's a bath in there, right? I'm just thinking like, I don't know what bitches are. I just assume they're dogs or whatever. He said the cats were good. I don't know. So I'm just like trying to fit in awkwardly.
So
So-
there's gonna be, so you've got your main room in here, and then, which actually, now that you're all in the inn, I can switch to inn music. You've got your or tavern music or whatever. You got your main room in the tavern or whatever. There's the bar behind it, tables. It's not very full right now. And then there's just a bunch of doors along one wall. The one he pointed to was the far corner. You go ahead and enter on through, and there's a little bit of a walkway. And then there's just another door at the end of the walkway. It's only about 5-10 feet. Entering through that door, there's now a room with a bed, a bath. And that's it. That's all you see.
I'm gonna find water. I'm
There's
not that
already
kind of
like
cat.
water ready there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Sorry.
Tigers like to bathe. They like to swim. You dicks. So I'm taking a bath.
Okay. So you go on in to take a bath. What's everyone else doing?
I'm gonna talk to the Goliath behind the counter.
Hey.
Tell Vigar that. Oh, real quick, I tell Vigar he should go help the tiger with his bath since he offered to lick him.
I'll just look at him and I'll be like, good idea.
Oh God.
Do you go over there?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get back to that in a second. So a guy behind the counter goes, "Hey, another Goliath. How are you?"
I haven't seen another Goliath since I left home.
Oh, there's a couple in this town here. I'm pretty rare. What brings you to Bastion?
Party, booze,
Party. You're a bit early for that. Hopefully it gets more lively later on tonight. Pretty dead here, as you can see.
So, can you do me a favor, friend? Now, my cat friend.
Oh God.
Aye, one will be showing up soon.
Oh God.
Can I pick his bitch for him?
Oh no.
Hey, we don't have a whole lot to choose from, but I said
We don't need that many decisions, but I know what he likes. We've been friends for a little bit now. He's very picky.
For a fellow Goliath, sure.
Thanks, brother.
He
Fella's name.
I'm sorry.
Never mind.
Oh, and so he kind of opens a door behind him, behind the bar there, kind of calls for somebody else to come on out and watch the bar, and leads you through another door. So the door he went through is kind of almost immediately behind him. You've got the bar area here, and then off to the far right of the bar, there's just a walkway to exit the bar, and there's also a door behind it, and leads you through that door. Through that door, there's again another hallway. He leads you through another door as well, and in this room, you see three women. There's a human female who's average-ish looking, not very plain, nothing special. You see a dragonborn female who it's a blue dragonborn who, to be honest, almost looks a little trashy. And then and then you see for the third one, you see a halfling female. Looks pretty plain as well.
We were hoping we'd see some lizard folk in here, but
Not quite that crazy.
Jeez.
What dragonborn? What's your name?
1 second here. Let me grab one.
Is she rather large?
It's Gene Eric Dragonborn.
Joan of Arc.
Sorry, what was your question?
Oh, I said it is. Her name is Gene
Oh
Eric.
no, I thought
Dragonborn.
Jimmy asked something about her.
Oh no, I don't think. Did you ask anything about her?
You mean like fat?
Tall, fat.
She's she's on the taller side. Dragonborns kind of tend to be. Not quite as tall as a Goliath. Average build though.
Alright. And she's trashy?
Yeah.
Perfect for my friend.
She says, my name is Zikrath.
Sorrel. What a
Sorrel.
beautiful name. Okay. Well, we have a little cat friend. I'll give you 2 silver. and I want you to bring yarn behind the ear. And refer to him as your good boy.
She kind of looks at you and says, "Hey, that sounds a little offensive, but you're paying.
Is 2 silver enough?
Since you said that, she's like, 5 would be better."
How about I give you a gold piece?
Not complaining about that.
I'll give you a gold piece, 2 silver, and 3 copper. If you don't let him leave the room either.
I will do my best.
It's his first time, so be rough with it.
Rough on the first time. All right.
He's a monk, so.
Oh, so he can take it.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
I like breaking in newbies.
You like it.
John, you're really good at playing a prostitute, I gotta say.
Kind of thinking the same thing, actually.
So he's taking a bath right now. If you want to heat up the tub with your dragon breath, that would be cool.
Blue, I don't think have heat.
It's ice.
I'm pretty sure it's ice.
No, lightning. It's lightning.
It might be lightning,
no,
yeah.
Fuck.
You want to
lightning.
lightly electrocute
fuck.
him in exotic ways, erotic ways.
Her intelligence is 11. I think it's high enough to,
Electrocute his nipples.
I think her intelligence is high enough to know that will fry him.
Okay.
It's like chromatic blue. That's lightning. Shit.
You guys have fun in there, and we're having a party later, so you should all come hang out. You two, my Goliath friend. What's your name?
Name's Ilthok. Sorry. Illithok.
What tribe are you from, mate?
I've been here my whole life. Not from the wilds.
You're not a tribesman.
No, sadly.
Okay, well. Anyways, thank you, and I guess I'll see all you tonight. I'd also just like to get a room with a bath.
Hey, for what you've already paid, you could have it.
Thanks, mate.
All right. With that, Zosa, what are you doing right now?
I'm gonna sit at a table in the common area.
Just
Gonna
chill there.
eat
You order
something.
anything?
I'm
Order
gonna
some
eat
food.
Some food.
All right.
How much is food?
I don't know. What do you want?
Let's have like a normal meal.
So a barmaid kind of comes on over and says, "Hey, Snake Man, what you having?"
Some potatoes.
Some potatoes.
Some potatoes.
I love
Like it.
potatoes.
Potatoes.
I like it.
We'll whoop you up something.
Just a mound of
Uh,
potatoes.
She leaves. A few minutes later, comes on back with 2 potatoes, not cooked or anything. Gives them to you. Says, "Here, eat up," and walks away.
Delicious.
Doesn't charge you anything.
2 free potatoes.
Yeah.
You wanted a late night session. Here we are.
Smash and smash and put them in a stew.
Some fuckery going on right now. Apparently.
What's potatoes?
What potatoes, precious?
What? Tastes precious.
All right. So with that, Veil of Shadows. Shortly after you get into the bath, the door opens, and Vygar walks in.
Fucking A. What the fuck are you doing?
I thought you needed help. The liquor too, maybe? On your back?
What? No.
It's a hard.
No. Is there a bar of soap in there? Like, get the fuck out of here!
Yeah, there would be a bar of soap.
It's a hard to reach spot. I just...
Vygar, we've talked about this personal space. We all need it occasionally. I need to clean myself. And then I need to polish my sword. And then I gotta count my arrows. And then I gotta try to find out what the fuck is wrong with my spirits.
Is it like a separate bathroom and then like?
No, it's all one word. It's all one room.
Okay. It's like, okay, it's wanted to make sure you were all right. Didn't need any help. You promise?
I promise.
All right. See you later. Walk out.
As you open the door to walk out, you are greeted by a blue dragonborn female who just stares at you and says, I wasn't told there would be gonna be two. I charge extra for that. She's currently blocking your way out. What do you do?
I think
I don't even know. I don't know what to do. Fuck.
Well, I don't think Viger would know what's going on right now. So I think he'd try to like start a conversation because he didn't get to talk much with the other Dragonborn, Lord Samish.
Samish, yeah.
So I think he'd try to find out like about her and like I'm sure he'd ask if she could breathe fire as well.
Fire? No. What? Lightning, but that's a little off topic, is it not?
Well, I mean, you know, I've only seen one of your kind before, and granted he was a different color, but he breathes fire right in front of me.
Right. What you doing blocking my way there?
Color into it.
What'd you say?
So why you gotta bring color into it?
What'd you say, John?
Right. Why are you blocking my way there? Get on in, we'll do the thing.
Oh. Are you here to help Vale with his baths? Yes, please, come on in.
Yes, you could say that.
Vale, I didn't know you had some service. I thought you didn't want me to help you, but you.
So
okay.
She walks on in with some yarn and takes a step towards Veil of Shadows, and it turns over to you, Vigar, and says, "Staying or leaving? Cost to watch."
You can't not watch that. I almost want to watch it. But I'm too busy bath bombing.
I just had to play the character. I just had to play the character. Fuck me. Okay.
That costs extra.
Like cost to watch.
Aye, cost to watch. Now hand over the 5 silver or get out of here.
Okay, you guys are costing me a lot, but sure. Here's 5. How much is it, silver to gold? Is it 10?
It's 10 to 1.
Because I'm thinking right now, Viger still doesn't really know what's going on.
Welcome to the forced prostitution episode, everyone.
Yeah. Didn't know this was gonna happen.
She accepts and pockets the money, walks over to Veil of Shadows and starts petting him behind the ears and calling him good boy.
What are you doing?
Your friend asked for special treatment, paid well, you paid for me. Let's do the thing.
Do what thing? I don't. First of all, I'm in a bath. I don't know. Is there like a...
She climbs into the bath with you.
I'm just gonna be like, wait, no, he likes his privacy. You just missed it. He told me a couple seconds ago. That's why I was trying to leave.
I'm just gonna do like he doesn't know how. He has no fucking clue what this bitch is, and he's just gonna do like this. Immediately, just like what the hell, and just jumps literally and does a backflip out of the bathtub.
It's okay. I know you've never done this before. Take it easy. Everyone's nervous their first time.
Done what? You're Dragon.
Vale, this is your first bath? What?
No, it's not my. I'm a fucking tiger. I swim in the fucking jungle. What do you mean it's my first bath? I know what water and soap is. Come on. I lived in a temple.
So as you like jump out of the bath and she says that to you, she starts walking closer and closer to you.
Well, you ain't having any of that shit. Fuck no. Is there a window?
No, but I mean your path to the door is pretty clear. The only thing in front of you is Vygar.
I'll be like, he's the good boy. I'm gonna grab my clothes and my sword, and I'm gonna walk out and shut the door.
She attempts to stop you. She's gonna go ahead and run over and try to grapple you. You can go ahead and you're gonna have to make an opposed athletics or acrobatics check, and her strength is 20. Oh, she rolled bad though. Acrobatics or athletics, whichever you prefer. Probably acrobatics. Okay, yeah. So, you go to get away, and she goes to grab you, because her instructions are to not let you leave. And she grabs your arm, but, I mean, you just slip right out and get out the door there.
I'm just slowly walking down the hall, wet, naked, little soap, with my clothes and my sword, and I just call back to Vygar and be like, "You're the good boy. Watch my fucking bow." And I'm just gonna go out and try to find somewhere to put my clothes on, I suppose.
So the way it works,
Like,
there's that one door.
Sandwich.
There's that one door, and then there's a tiny hallway that's like 5 or 10 feet long, and then the other door that's right into the inn there.
I'm gonna go to the one at the end.
So do you go through into the main room?
Why not? I don't give a shit.
Okay, so
We're gonna get banished from this city.
so
because
Star-Lord
anyone
and
who gets in
Zosa,
trouble is gonna
you
get-
guys, there's only like 3 other people in the inn at this point. Star-Lord and Zosa, you guys are kind of sitting there enjoying whatever, chatting up with the bartender or whatever you guys are doing, and you just hear a slam as one of the far doors on the wall, against one of the walls, opens up, and in runs Veil of Shadows, dripping wet, naked, with his clothes and his sword in his hand.
How was your bitches?
That's what bitches is. I thought bitches was food. You said it tasted good.
That's sandwich.
Oh,
I said bitches are female girls.
I think I confused them. Oh,
You could have eaten her.
no, she, no.
But I handpicked her for you. I said,
As this is all happening, Illithok runs up to and says, "What is the meaning of this? Like, in this room the clothes stay on. For what you're doing, I gave you a room and a woman. What is wrong with you?"
yeah, you disgusting.
I thought bitchin' was sandwiches. I made a mistake.
Ugh.
He's retarded.
So should I send the girl away?
Yes.
Put some clothes on, and he goes in and tells her to.
I'll take her.
You'll-
You can come up to my room.
Great. He goes in, tells her which room is Star-Lord's, and she'll be there waiting for you whenever you're ready, essentially.
Fucking prude.
Is this like a 2-story building or something?
No, it's just the one floor.
There's like a roof outside? Like I can climb up it, basically.
Yeah, I
Like
suppose.
if okay, I'm gonna go outside, don't care, and I'm gonna climb up on the roof so I can dry off, bathe in the sun, and put my clothes on.
Fair enough.
It's very cat-like.
Whenever you do end up coming back into the inn, you find a sandwich waiting for you.
Oh,
This is waiting for you.
this is what I want. This is bitches. This is the bitches that I wanted. This is
He looks you
fantastic.
dead in the eye and says, "No. Sandwich?" And then there's a barmaid running around. Bitches.
Look look at her and I'll be like, bitches, sandwich.
That's what the meat is.
Oh God, I'm just hungry. I haven't eaten a good meal, so I'm just be like, I'm not even gonna be like, I'm gonna get the correlation now, and I'm gonna eat my sandwich. Dressed. Oh, please tell me it's not cat. What? They don't serve cat here, do they? Come on.
Cats? No, we don't serve cat. That's boar meat.
It's edge of the world.
No.
I do like pork. I'm gonna eat my sandwich, and I'm just gonna be like, I thought this was bitches, but bitches taste good. No, sandwich. Sandwich tastes good.
Well, I mean, I'll say you eat your sandwich. You have your potatoes, Zosa. Scarlord, I'm not even going to attempt to roleplay that. You have your way with her.
I don't know. You're gonna have to make a performance check.
I'll
Giggity.
You might have to make some sort of survival check, though.
Yeah, so here's the deal. Are you just like trying to go at it, or are you trying to actually like win her over because you want a Dragonborn?
Ooh, I like this prospect. He's sneaky. And you hear the music? It's like kind of appropriate for like medieval porn.
A baby Dragonborn would be cool.
So if that's what you're going for, then yeah, it's going to be a performance check because that's what's going to impress her.
Show her your girth. I don't want
Well, yeah. So without going into all of it, I'll say for the sake of that, she, based on what you've paid her, based on the fact that you still wanted to be with her after the whole debacle, and based on your performance, she's grown to take a liking to you.
That was
I'll just
easy.
say that. Doesn't mean that she like is in love with you or anything, but she kind of likes you there. Yeah, so you guys just kind of hang out here until it gets later in the day and more people show up.
Trying to
Revelry.
figure out these stones to see what we can do to find Billiam too while we're waiting. I assume we're waiting for the party.
Yeah, so I mean, as the day goes on,
Bitches.
more and more people show up. By the time we get to early afternoon, there's some people here, not a ton. Approaching nightfall there, you know, the Lord Samish said to show up just before nightfall, and he should be able to relay anything else that he learned to you. Nothing resembling a party has broken out in this tavern yet, though.
We have no bard. That's a problem. Yeah. The most charismatic one's probably, I don't know, what's your guys' charisma at? We need a party, man.
Mine's at 18.
So,
Mine
you got
is
18?
0.
Son of a bitch.
0.
I have an 18 as well.
Well, you two are the face. There you go. You're the conversationalist. Oh, how the game has switched.
I'm still stuck in the room watching your bow.
Oh.
I'm doing what
So-
I'm told.
Yeah, I mean, I guess at any point did you go back in there? No?
I'll go back in there eventually. I'm just like, I don't know where he's at. I just figured he was having his way with this girl, so I didn't go in there. I've been eating a
Oh,
sandwich.
that's amazing.
Just fucking eating a sandwich. I didn't think he would actually stay there the entire time. I guess
After a
eventually I'm
couple
gonna
minutes-
have to go up there.
I will say that like I got bored, so I took out the spell book and just started to read it over just a little bit.
Okay. Reading through the spell book, I mean, you see all sorts of different spells. Is there anything in particular that you think would catch your eye? I mean, again, there's a ton of different spells in there, so any type of spell.
Yeah, any sort of healing thing since
Okay.
since Vale actually like almost did die, I guess.
Yeah, so I mean, you definitely don't learn anything just in the time that you spend poring over it. But there is actually one in particular that you start to study in on and try and learn the incantation for. It's not easy for you at all. This is not how you learn magic. Magic just comes to you. actually having to study and learn the right flow of everything and the hand movements and the language of it all. It's very difficult for you, but you're practicing and practicing, and you're getting some of the language down, and you can even see sparks of magic happening as you're kind of reciting things. But you know you got a ways to go, and you're not even quite sure exactly what it'll do once you learn it.
Okay.
That sounds fun. Wild magic surge! Woo! I think I've had more fun doing this than like my actual combats I plan.
Right.
I work so hard on my combats, and I think I'm having more fun with his in shit.
All right, so what's the plan? Do you guys just stick around here longer?
This too.
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes that's the best way, though.
Yeah.
Are you guys just gonna stick around here longer, or are you gonna go see the Lord, or what's the plan
we were
right now?
trying to wait for. I thought we were trying to find Billiam. So I figured, like, he told us if the stones could basically track. So, because that's kind of like.
He didn't know if they could track. He knows that you can teleport to another stone, but that whether or not they can track is kind of one of the things he was going to be asking the wizards on your guys' behalf.
Okay, is he there then?
So I mean, he told you guys to go back. No, he told you guys to go back to him.
Go back
around
to
nightfall.
him. Oh, okay.
Yeah, just before
I
nightfall.
smell nice and I look nice and I don't stink anymore. So I will I will look at the three. What do I call these guys? I mean, I'm really shaking my head. One tried to get me laid by a dragonborn. One got 2 potatoes. The other one wanted to watch me get laid by a dragonborn. I'm just gonna be like, go to the fucker and let's find the Billiam.
Okay.
I'm not good at talking. That's not my forte.
All right, so you guys head back to Lord Samish's place, essentially, the keep there.
I'll just tell everyone that I'd be fine going by myself because I don't like parties. I don't like multiple people. So if you guys wanted to stay here...
I mean, I'm not going to go party. I'll go with you. So I finally learned what party is in bitches, and that's not really his thing.
I'm going to go to the party with...
All right, so Scarlord stays. Zosa, what do you do?
I'm still trying to eat my raw potatoes with a fork.
All right.
God love you, Meeper. God love you, sir. Thank you. That's made my day.
So Veil of Shadows and Vygar go off. Zosa, after some more time, the same barmaid comes back around, just kind of pats you at the back of the shoulder and leaves again. She ends up coming back with a plate of food. There's some actual like cooked potatoes. There's some boar meat in there, a couple of vegetables. It's actually like a full dinner. And just kind of throws it throws it in front of you there and says, "Just give me a cup of silver."
Okay.
Hey, you never know when those potatoes may come in handy, dude. I'm just saying. I put 5 shards of glass in my inventory.
She pockets 1 silver and gives the other 2 the bartender there as like the actual payment for the food.
Okay, so I have 2 potatoes.
You have 2 potatoes, and you're able to actually eat a meal as well. So you got 2 potatoes in your inventory. Veil of Shadows and Vygar, as you get to the keep there, the guards recognize you. They know that you guys are allowed in. The Lord's been awaiting you. Lets you into the same room you were in before. Lord Samish sees you and kind of beckons you on forward. Says, good to see you again. I was able to speak with one of the wizards we have here who knows more about the stones. As far as your questions, first of all, you asked, you did ask if they knew of any other places that they can teleport you. They said they don't know where all they are. There are definitely more than the 3 that we're aware of. There's certainly one somewhere in the ancient graves. There's sure to be one in the Obsidian Mountains. Outside of that, though, they're not sure. There could be many more. That could be all. We don't know.
I'm going to tell him that we actually did end up going to the one in the ancient graves.
Oh, you did? That's confirmation. Then there must be one there. He then says, you also were just kind of trying to find more information, see if they could be tracked or something like that. As far as the wizards know, the incantation they use does not include a tracking device. Otherwise, they would have been able to find the other obsidian gates themselves. You're still able to teleport to another rock, but cannot track them, unfortunately.
Can
This
you
is what I've learned.
teleport to even the small ones, and I hold it out there?
Yes. So you can teleport from one of those to another one of the obsidian gate stones that you each hold.
Well, there's our answer.
Is there any other information that may be useful about these stones that we don't already know?
I mean, they didn't have much more information for me other than what I already knew. They're ancient. Obsidian itself is easy to come by. The incantation, not so much. Takes a long time to recite. Takes an incredibly long time to learn. It's an ancient magic that nobody really understands. The wizards try to, and they understand it enough to create it, but that's about all.
Well, I think we have our answer. Vale's gonna do a deep bow before the wizards and the Lord of the Keep.
The wizards aren't there. It's just the Lord.
Oh, well, before the Lord, he's gonna be like, "May you have many good bitches and party." And I'm just gonna turn and go back the way I came and be like, "Are you coming?"
I'll thank him and tell him that if there's anything he needs from us, just let us know.
Will do. What is it he's talking about, bitches and party?
I don't know what that word means, but...
Just go. Let me let you go.
Because I still don't know what happened with that girl. I still don't know why she was there.
You have no idea.
I still think that she was to help him with his bath, and he just freaked out.
I just think bitches now is a term of endearment now. That's what I thought it was a sandwich. Now I'm thinking it's a term of endearment for a female. That's why I'm saying, like, may you have many bitches, and apparently parties are good too. Because I'm from the fucking jungle. I don't know shit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's just me trying to be polite. I'm like, I have no idea.
That's fantastic. Well, Scarlord, you are trying to create a party there, and it's just not happening. You're successful in drinking a lot, though, if you like.
Yeah, and I want to play my bagpipes.
Yeah, go for it. Play it. Give me a performance check. Nice. Yeah, it's definitely very respectable. In fact, you just kind of whip them out there in the tavern, and everyone is, pleasantly surprised. It actually sounds really good. Illithok actually looks your way and kind of motions you towards that there is a small stage in one of the corners of the in there, and just kind of motions you to go on up there and keep playing.
I'd like to start with play that funky music, white boy.
Yes.
Really not sure how that would sound on bagpipes, but you're successful.
I actually have a link for you.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, here we go. He's put some thought into this. All right.
Right.
Have you watched our games? Have you somehow know about our other one? It's like, no, I have a link here. This is what this sounds like. Fantastic. Off kilter, I should have those lyrics done by our next session, so I'll have that. So that's gonna be good.
Nice.
It's gonna be tight, and I won't slur my lyrics because I'll hopefully have more than 2 hours of sleep. So that'll be nice.
Right.
I made a parody of "Cake by the Ocean" with my bard. Terrible lyrics, but they were funny. That was the point, I suppose.
That was great.
It was certainly entertaining.
Then I bow before you. As he humbly looks for his link. How long will it take us to get back to the end then?
Not long. I mean, only a few minutes or so. Oh my goodness.
Here we go. Yes,
All
Trevor.
right. Well, that's
Well
about as much of
played.
that as I want to watch.
Well played.
That's amazing. All right. Well, you are successful in whatever it is that you were doing. And I'll say, the people there, the party gets going. The booze is flowing, the music is playing. Veil of Shadows and Vigar, you walk into bagpipes and dancing and beer, and more people are coming in. Just kind of joining in the festivities, essentially.
And be like, oh, I know this one. Play the fucking music, my boy. Play the fucking music, right? Yeah.
All right. Well, the evening goes on. The festivities commence and continue. I'll say. I'll say, Scarlord, you actually earn 5 gold, 7 silver, and 11 copper in tips.
Oh, look at you. And here I thought we didn't have a bard.
It's those rolls that's in chat.
7 silver and 6 copper, you said?
11 copper. It's the rolls that I have in chat there.
Cool.
All right. Well,
I'm proficient with bagpipes.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, with that,
we're-
I'll say, you guys, are you spending the night here in the inn?
Yeah, because if we're gonna,
Because we can't
This world's
travel until
dangerous
the
to
next
travel
day
at night.
anyways.
Right.
yeah, that's true. It's only once per day, right?
Yeah. So those of you who haven't already paid for a room, it's 1 silver. You can go ahead and mark that off, and then I'll just say it's morning. You've successfully spent the night here. Not that any of you needed a long rest, but you now have one. Yeah. Wake up, meet up together in the main room there in the inn, and it's up to you. What's your plan?
Is the barmaid there? Because I'm be like, Miss Bitch, may I have a sandwich to go, please?
She kind of looks at you, scoffs, and walks away, ignoring you completely.
Did I say something wrong? Are you sure this term is the correct term?
Yep. It's the best. It is. I just don't think you're using it right.
Show me.
Okay. So,
To her.
you'd say to your mates, right? Mate, that's one fine bitch over there. But you
Well, you
wouldn't
look at-
say to her,
Oh,
you're one
okay.
fine bitch. If you want to compliment her, you very kindly say, hello, ma'am. You're a very
Hello,
nice piece
ma'am."
of ass.
I'm doing it. I'm gonna go over there and be like, I'm sorry, ma'am. You are a nice piece of ass. May I have a sandwich to go, please?
So, as you go over and say, I'm sorry, ma'am, she's like, alright, well, whatever. He's not a total idiot, and maybe he just didn't realize what he was saying. And then as you finish, she smacks you across the face and just walks away from you again.
I'm just gonna give the Goliath just a death stare. I'm like, that's not the right thing to say to these women, apparently.
What? That's what I say.
She hit me. I can't just hit her back. That's
Do you not
foolish.
like it? Why not? One, just
You give me a fucking sandwich.
do
And
I
I'm just
look
gonna
like a
walk
woman?
over. Right now, yes.
I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna say goodbye to my dragonborn bitch. My fine piece of dragonborn ass. Tammy Lynn.
Is that what we're naming her? Tammy Lynn?
No.
It's how appropriate, actually.
Sir Alt was her name.
Sir Alt Lynn.
Tammy
Said she
Lynn,
was
that's fantastic,
trashy, so
though.
you put Lynn at the end of it.
I'm just gonna find the other two and be like, I just want a sandwich. I'm just gonna sit down, be like, tell them what we found out.
Illithok does hear you wanting a sandwich and make sure you get one.
Before he gets his sandwich, I tell it, I do not have a sandwich, but I have these, and I pull out the 2 potatoes.
I do not want your dirty potatoes. The sandwich is better.
I look disappointed they didn't put my potatoes back in my bag.
Yes, that's fantastic.